I'm actually going to let my guests introduce themselves. We'll start with Alvin Fong from Internet Brands. Sorry.
My name is Alvin Fong from Internet Brands. I'm a VP of Operations, so I oversee our automotive network of 100 websites, so approximately 100, continues to grow. I also oversee our lodging vertical that also includes forums, and I also oversee ad operations for 270 sites within our company.
Hi folks, my name is Jerry Orban. I'm Vice President of Business Development with VerticalScope. We own and operate over 300 websites in 6 different verticals. Our primary one is auto. We have about 200 websites in that. We are audience aggregators as our internet brand, so we're best buddies. It's good to see a lot of folks here that Alvin's team and my team have been talking to over the years that are still remaining independent and growing well. So especially a very large contingent from Texas. I don't know what they have in the water down there, but they sure like to go forums. Anyway, hopefully we can give you a little bit of our insights into what we think might happen. Not the next 5 years. I'm thinking about 30 days ahead myself.
Hi, my name is Richard Weston Smith, and I'm VP of Business Development and Strategic Alliances for SocialGO. We're a next generation social network maker, and hopefully I'll be able to give you some ideas of where we see the future of forums in that platform.
Hi, my name is Tezza Yujuico, and I'm co-founder and COO of Athena East. We're an online community and social media services provider. So basically, we make the sausage behind the scenes. We moderate, post, run the editorial for a variety of agencies and clients directly. And I will not be Facebooking or tweeting from the delivery room in May.
Great, thanks everyone. So, just going to jump right into the first question. We're actually going to pass it to Alvin to start. So, user interface has been mentioned by a number of forum owners as a differentiator and the importance of sort of look and feel. And I know Internet Brands has been putting some focus in around user interface innovation. So I'm asking Alvin, what kind of user interface changes do you see coming, and what do you think is going to affect the market?
Well, I think, like Jerry said, we think about 30 days cycles. We don't know. So we have this unique challenge where we have a broad set of communities that all kind of grew and operated differently and with their own culture. We know that some things work for certain audiences and others don't, right? So there's certain crowds and age groups that probably lean towards the Facebook experience or Twitter. Others who want to save forums and hate the concept of Facebook. What we do know is that we need to maintain the value of our sites. Why do people come in? And so part of that is driving community engagement. Well, what does that mean? So we have a core, we think about our audience differently. We segment them out. We think about people coming in for information, right? So a lot of people come through search. How do we present our information that we have? And we're sitting on over 10 years of phenomenal information across all sorts of automotive makes and models. And so if you're a user looking for, trying to answer a question, how do we present that in a better way? How do we identify what you're looking for when you're coming onto our site? And so those are some of the things we are thinking about in terms of general audiences. For our core users, there's a different experience too. So how do you discover content? How do you find what's going on? How do you know it's popular? And the way obviously our vBulletin is set up today, and these are things that our vBulletin team is also working on too. So we kind of work in parallel, we work together and kind of share best practices because we see it from a very large forum perspective. Is content discovery, right? And so what does that mean? Well, we're running different tests on different sites, and having that many sites helps us run it on sample sites to get feedback quickly. And when we get good feedback, we do typically try to roll up the chain pretty quickly. But the answer every day is we're testing in, we think about 5 years ago, it was a different space. I mean, we didn't even own any of these sites 5 years ago. Now we've got over 100. What 5 years from now looks like, don't really know. But we do know that the reason why these sites stay is that audiences are able, or our communities are able to kind of come together, get to know each other, share information, and other people are drawn to that. And so as long as we stick to those core values, we think the forums have a really promising future, but we have to kind of remember as to why we exist in the first place.
Great, thank you very much. Would anyone else in the panel like to jump in on that question?
I'll wait to the next question.
Okay. So the next question is for Richard, actually. What are forums learning from new social media like Twitter and Facebook? We've spoken a bit about how the original social media is forums, but information flow is likely coming the other way. So what are we learning from them?
yeah, I mean, the original social network was the forum, and it was vertical, and then it exploded, and now the way that we see it is that everything's going vertical again. So in terms of our vision for forums and social networking, we have a platform that allows people to build a social network that you can then take and plug into a forum. So you can take a forum and you can add in all the functionality of a social network very easily with cross-domain authorization and so on, and give your members a very much richer experience in terms of profiles and blogs and chat and video chat and groups and events and all of that sort of thing. Alternatively, if one wants to start a forum, you could build it on that platform and have the entire forum actually work on a platform that is much, much richer in terms of social media than anything else out there. And one of the previous panelists talked about having to sort of work to really sort of raise the bar in terms of the experience for forum members and the look and so on, and make it attractive and so forth. And that is something that we feel is very important in terms of any user experience. You want it to look good, to feel good. You want it to be rich in terms of the options of what people can do, how they can interact with other members, how they can tell, how they can perhaps get involved in understanding the demographic of other members too, which will in turn enrich the conversation that goes on. So the way that we see it is that there's more and more tools available for people who want to make a forum that they can manage from one place that has all of this stuff baked into it. Rather than having lots of different presences on Twitter and Facebook and all of that sort of stuff, using Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn and so on to feed people to a central place that you can administer from one point.
Interesting. I'm actually interested in a sort of an offhand comment you made earlier that everything's going vertical again. I wonder if you could expand on that a little bit. That's something I hadn't heard again recently.
Well, in terms of social networking, we're seeing people migrate from Facebook, where they have concerns about privacy, they have limited branding, limited control. It's not their environment. It's sort of like it's like a hotel room. You can use it, but you can't change the furniture or put different pictures on the wall. So the private or niche social network is where people are starting to migrate to, because they realize that they probably want to focus more clearly on a vertical, be it a group of friends or a group of customers or a group of enthusiasts of a particular sport or hobby, anything where there's a passion or community. So we see things going much more vertical, whereas they've been very, very broad recently, and that's changing.
Great, thank you very much. The next question is for Jerry. How is audience tracking and sort of understanding of the attribution that Quantcast and their peers and Blue Kai, how's that changing the forum world? What kind of innovation are you seeing there?
Well, I think that understanding your audience is probably key to being able to adapt to and tap into the opportunities that are going to be coming down the road in the future. I think behavioral targeting and some of the agencies that are doing that type of tracking are really adding to the value of forums, at least in the eyes of the larger advertisers, because they're able to provide a profile that's more meaningful to marketers who have the big bucks to spend. One thing I wanted to say is the purpose of a website is really, if the purpose of your website is to make money, then what you have to do is you have to help the people that visit your website do the things that make you money. So you've got to understand why people are coming to the forum, where they're coming from, who they are, what makes them loyal, why they're bouncing away, why they're not, where they're going afterwards. You can't lose. As publishers, and that's what you are if you're a forum operator, audience always comes first, because your business can't stand up without the users who are there, who you think are there, who you're telling advertisers are there, are actually there, with the interests and engaging in actions while they're online and once they go offline that are going to make your advertisers money. So to my mind, knowing your audience through various technologies, and it can be techniques as well. Just simple site surveys, anything you can do to gain insights that'll help you with product development and advertising sales is time and money well spent, in my opinion.
Great, thank you very much. Last of the focus questions is for Tezza. Tezza, how is professional human support changing the landscape here? I know that skills have developed over time around how to moderate a forum, and you guys sort of specialize in that. What can you share about both hiring professionals and also moving some of those skills from the professionals down to the amateurs?
I think what we're seeing in the role of community and forum managers is they're moving to a more strategic level, right? Because now, 4 years ago, I was talking to a lot of community and forum managers, and they'd say, it's just me, I don't have the support, I'm trying to be the moderator, I'm trying to be the editor, I'm trying to do all these, wear all these different hats, do all these different jobs. I think where we are now is that we're in a spot, now that it's kind of come from the top down and forums and community is kind of top of mind, these community managers are being forced to think more strategically. They're a source for data. They're kind of gatekeepers of the audience. So when it comes to, okay, let's talk to the guys in product dev, let's talk to marketing, they need to be armed with the ability to say, okay, well guys, here's the data, here's the conversation that's going on in the forum, and be able to present it in a smart way. That's a very different role from, hey, I'm managing a bunch of moderators and making sure that everybody behaves. So the good news is, I think the role is evolving. The good news for us at Athena East is that the need for support and sustained support and resources is being recognized, especially at the enterprise level when you're talking about larger scale forums. So I think with regards to where it's going, as well as from a community perspective, they're also community managers are also being expected to understand and utilize Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, etc. So they're really becoming more of like an integrated communications role.
Got it. Great, thank you. So I've got two general questions that I'd like to pose to the whole panel, and maybe you could each respond a little bit. The first one is, what do you think our biggest challenges as a community over the next couple of years? What hurdles do we face? We face? Certainly unexpected things come up, but what are the challenges that are on your agenda right now?
Since I'm holding the mic, I think it really is thinking at a more strategic level and coming at the different communication platforms and understanding there's a role for everything and defining that role within your organization. So it really is saying, okay guys, Twitter we're going to use for support, and maybe some other things will come in there, some other issues will come in here, but primarily if someone looks for us on Twitter, they're going to get a quick answer. Forums, maybe we'll go deeper into community discussions, etc. Facebook is so our membership can share with each other. It's really easy to say, hey, this is what it's going to be, but I think when you're working within an organization and you're trying to get the sales guys, the product dev, the customer support guys all rowing in the same direction, that's going to be the challenge.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. I think that it's a question of how to harness the sort of universe that's going on out there in terms of the horizontal networks like LinkedIn and YouTube and Twitter, and feed them and manage them within a vertical environment. I think that's really the challenge. It's how to deal with all this stuff that's going on and apply it in a manageable, cost-effective way to a forum that allows you to monetize, make it a viable concern.